Hello and welcome to the 5th Halcyon podcast, where we're going to be talking once again about wrestling talk. Co-hosted this week by my good friend Mickey B. We're going to be talking about our favourite matches, the PG era, Brenny's dream match, my dream match, and also the wrestler who we feel deserved a bigger push, along with the worst angle ever, and we really hope you enjoy it. Right. You cool?
Yes.
You sure?
No.
Okay, well that was this week's podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Right, cool. Let's kick things off. Welcome to the Halcyon podcast. I'm going to be a co-host for this episode. My name's Lorne. You want to introduce yourself over there, buddy?
Mickey B.
Mickey B. We're going to speak canonically. You were on last week's podcast, were you not?
I was indeed. Good memory.
Wink. Last week we were talking about wrestling. That's probably going to be a recurring theme for our podcast, just because we're both super nerds on the history of wrestling, although you to a greater degree than me. So we have, last time we were very much off the cuff.
Yes.
I think you'll agree, we kind of went all
we're
over
a
the
little
place.
bit. We apologise for that in advance.
It's just, we're going to shoot the shit here, we're going to talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, and that's just the way it's going to go. So, this time...
We also have beer, so whatever comes out of our mouths, it's kind of looking not going to be...
Well... That's your choice whether or not, you want to worsen the situation.
It's a Stone Cold tactic. Give it. Hey, if Stone Cold can give Big Show a beer like on WWE podcast, I think we can get away with it on here.
Yeah, I was about to... Yeah, do we have to cover them in paper bags too, or is it implied that we have?
I think it's just a towel, isn't it?
To any young members of the audience,
Drink beer.
drink beer.
Yeah. Root beer, of course, you sick-minded people.
There's a free endorsement for beer in whole. Anyway, we do have some bullet points we're going to cover this episode, and we're going to kick it off with not actually the first point on this sheet, if that's okay.
Oh, that's just completely confusing me. Okay.
Well, that's a fairly long point to oh, do you know what? Fuck it.
No, go with it. Go with it.
Okay, cool.
Let's go with it.
What's your favourite match?
Oh, it's difficult. Mine's a slightly controversial choice.
Okay, what's that?
In the fact that it involves someone that's not actually recognised with WWE anymore.
You're going to be talking about Chris Benoit, aren't you?
That's the one. That's the guy.
Is it by chance a match involving a Mr. Michaels and a Mr. H?
It is, because it was the first ever triple threat for the title of a main event match in WrestleMania history. And you've got three guys there who were absolutely passionate about what they do and who were at the top of their level. And you really didn't know who was going to win it, from what I can remember when I was watching it the first time.
What do you remember? I mean, like going into the match? Because I've heard it. I don't remember the build-up, but I remember it being...
Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble. He came in at number 2 or number 1. I can't remember exactly which number it was.
But the build-up itself was about HBK and Triple H.
It was. This is. Benoit won the Royal Rumble. He was because this is when the brand split was in place. And he was a SmackDown guy, so everyone assumed Benoit was going to change. I think it must have been Eddie Guerrero at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I tell you, it would have been Lesnar actually, because Guerrero beat Lesnar No Way Out. So yeah. And at the time, Shawn Michaels and Triple H had this huge rivalry going on. Shawn Michaels just come back, and he won the Survivor Series Elimination Chamber, which no one saw coming. And it was a really personal rivalry. And then all of a sudden, on Raw, Chris Benoit comes out and says, "I'm challenging Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship." And then Shawn Michaels takes offense to that because it's his. He doesn't see it as just a title. He sees it as personal beef.
That's not even the most shocking thing that came out of that match. The most shocking thing was a commentary that was done nearly 10 years later by two individuals that never made it in the business and never tried. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I'd go with that, yeah. Yeah, the Elimination Chamber match. Yeah.
For those of you who weren't there that night, which is everybody, me and Brady have a pawn shop for occasionally recording over messaging matches while inebriated, and sometimes it produces the occasional golden nugget of commentary, which we won't go into now. But I remember that Elimination Chamber quite fondly because, like you say, HBK was not ever destined to win that match, and somehow he walked away winning.
Well, in any case, it's the best Elimination Chamber. The first Elimination Chamber was the best Elimination Chamber.
But as far as the match itself, what was it about the match? Not necessarily the lead up to it, because obviously the swerve being that Benoit wasn't the favourite to win. It was a story match.
Well, I think by the time it came around, I think Benoit everyone sort of got the idea that Benoit was going to win because it's been a 20-year journey in his career. He never won the big one. He had title matches against The Rock and that in the past, but he never won the big one. And I think the whole thing that did it with Guerrero being champion and Benoit being champion had that iconic image at the end of the match where they're both hugging and they both got their titles. The two guys that all the locker room thought they deserved to win. The actual match, the reason why the match is so good is because it's just wrestling perfection to a degree.
Were there any spots that you particularly enjoyed?
The climax to the end, when everyone's just hitting their finishes off the bat and you really don't know what's going to go on. Like, you think Shawn Michaels going to win, and all of a sudden, Triple H is back in control, he's going to win. And then Benoit gets in, gets Triple H in the crossface, and then Triple H rolls him over, oh, that's it, but then he holds on. Usually when you roll out the crossface, you get out of it, but Benoit hold on. And then to see Triple H tap, and King's going nuts on the commentary because he loves Triple H. And it's just the most. Benoit, JR's lost his voice by the end of it. He's croaking at the end of the match. He literally can't, he can barely speak.
It always staggered me how JR managed to keep his voice. Like he always gave it the big, especially at WrestleMania, man.
Yeah.
But like, okay, but what makes that particular match stand out? Is it the imagery then? Is it the nostalgia of Eddie? Considering that Benoit out of the but let's assume knowledge on the part of the audience here. The Radicals when they came in were very quickly turned into jobbers, but the only one that was given any relative push was Benoit to the Intercontinental title.
I would say more Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn turned into jobbers. Eddie
I
Guerrero was
agree
thrown
with
into European Intercontinental title matches very quickly.
Indeed.
But I think that's because, I don't know, well, Dean Malenko was always a cruiserweight. There's only so much you can do with cruiserweight.
Indeed.
And Perry Saturn, well, we didn't really have they didn't know what to do with him.
Okay.
Half the time he was just Eddie Guerrero's heavy, half the time. But
yeah, it's such a. Do you know what? I look at that group and just feel regret these days.
I mean, as wrestlers go, they're all ridiculous. Like technically, they're all sound.
Well, you know, but when you consider the highlight of Perry Saturn's career was being security advisor at Alton Towers, and he was once cussed up by The Rock in a rather memorable promo.
And he was thrown out twice in 2002 Royal Rumble by Stone Cold because he eliminated everyone and he got balls. So he threw everyone back in the ring.
Oh, of course, yes, he did. You're right. Well, and you won't hear any arguments. That is one hell of a match. I mean, I can see why it's got everything. It's got your potentially two favourite wrestlers.
Triple H and Shawn Michaels, yeah. But it's not even about that. Like, Shawn Michaels has had bad matches. Triple H has had bad matches.
Let me ask you a very
Just watch Triple H's Goldberg match and you can see a bad match.
Let me kind of ask you a bit of a tricky supplemental question, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Does the whole thing with Benoit that went down afterwards take that match in any opinion to... Do you watch that match with any kind of... Damn. Or do you still just enjoy it for its pure wrestling?
No, if I look at it from the time it was there and the time it was done.
So as a moment in time rather than anything that you look back. Because it just seems like everyone in WWE always looks anything... Chris, but I don't know who you're talking about, I don't know what you're doing. There was only two people in that triple threat match. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's kind of sad.
When you go on WWE Network, there's not even a chapter for it. You have to literally fast forward manually to find the start of it.
Well,
minus the main event, there's like a massive gap. It's like, it's like 3/4 of the way through and there's no other chapter. It takes a while to find the bloody start of the match. But I mean, obviously his name, Benoit's name was tainted, and rightfully so. That what he did was ridiculous and heartbreaking.
I've got to be honest. Like, it added a real. You know the game we play when we watch old wrestling videos now. Time to play.
Yeah. Who's
still alive today?
Or who's retired?
Yeah, it's one of those really sad games where you watch it. The further back you go, the more you realise, wow, really, no one's left standing except for John Cena, and that's something really sad about that fact. Yeah. Okay, that's a decent shout for a favourite man.
Right here.
To be honest, I've got the casual viewers approach. Like, it's gonna be a Rumble. Like I say, my favourite pay-per-view / match is the Royal Rumble. But if I had to pick a match that wasn't bespoke to the pay-per-view, like I say, it would have to be. I'm torn between semantic and technical. Like, any match with Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle, I used to love. I still love them to death.
WrestleMania 17.
But my favourite. Man, that's tough. It's my show, so I can pass.
No, you can't.
Oh yeah, you're co-hosting. Shit. Okay, gun to my head, it's like I say, it's the Cactus Jack Triple H Hell in a Cell match in 1999 or 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I wasn't allowed to watch it, but mainly because when I did, I realised why.
You still get that buzz when you watch it and think, I shouldn't have watched it.
Oh man, just because they were so right.
Yeah.
It was so...
Cactus Jack matches were...
Well, these days we complain about PG ruining the mystique. But the fact of the matter is, if we're brutally honest with ourselves, those kinds of matches were ruining the mystique too, because there was no... They weren't jobbing. He was genuinely falling on tacks. And he was genuinely falling off the top of a cage and lighting a barbed wire with... a 2x4 with barbed wire on fire.
Yeah.
You can't... Oh, well, I'm going to hit you with this and it's not going to hurt. It's on fire!
Yeah.
So, for that purpose, it was one of those matches for me that I watched. I knew I wasn't meant to. I knew it was wrong, and that made it just entertaining as fuck.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of a supplemental thing, but that kind of leads us very nicely onto the next point, which you probably have a slightly different opinion on than I do, which will be good because then I can tell you why you're wrong. Roll your eyes all you want. It's a podcast.
It's the PG era.
It's the PG era, folks. Okay, now, this is something that we...
Please, God, stop era is what
Oh, wow. That's... I was going to roll my eyes and tell... That was very good. If you just made that up, very good. Oh, that's very good. Okay, everyone applaud this man. That's very, very good. There's fuck all written down. Anyway, PG era. This thing of, right, it's wrestling. It's two men trying to submit each other. But try not to look like you're hurting him while you do it. Am I the only one that finds that just the dumbest thing in the world?
Well, the things I tested this is the rise of John Cena coincides with the PG era. Really deserve much as you want, but you know.
So would you? Right. So here's the question then: if we're gonna label John Cena as the mascot of the PG era,
it's not. It's nothing to do with. I'm having a laugh. It's nothing to do with John. The whole reason why they went PG was because of UFC. UFC became more popular.
Well, they felt they had to go the opposite direction.
Well, it wasn't even that. They were losing viewers. It's like, oh yeah, this is like WWE. Oh yeah, but they're actually hurting each other. And it's like, so there's a key audience. I mean, I like UFC, you know. People that like UFC like WWE up to 2005.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll bring the conversation back. I do blame John Cena for this. It's all his fault. And I say we all get our pitchforks and torches and march down to his house and show him what the PG era should have been. Nah, I'm joking. I do see what you're saying. I personally think that it's just a question of taste. If you were a fan of wrestling before the Attitude Era, the chances are you probably don't mind this era as much. I'll tell you what it is. It's the little things that bring the match. Sorry, the company together now that have changed the dynamic. Like something simple like HD coverage means you can't hide jack shit. Every time a wrestler's whistling to the other one, he's calling a match, you can see it. Every time someone misses a punch, you can see it. And because it misses, I'm old school, I watch on old TVs, I don't have a HD TV in my living room. I have a HD TV for gaming, but it's like 2 centimetres wide. You can't, there's something lost in the translation when it's properly live, and the camera's zoomed in on it. Now, in the live audience, you probably don't even pick up on this, because it's all happening so fast. But on a TV, when everything seems to be slowed down and you can see everything super sharp, it looks fake as fuck.
Yeah, but you shouldn't, I mean, the most people know it's fake, right?
But it doesn't mean they can't lose themselves
No,
in the illusion.
it doesn't, but at the end of the day, it's like a dance, isn't it? It's choreographed.
Yes, absolutely.
It's routine. It's still very dangerous.
Okay, well then let's assume for the second that we are in an era of undying darkness, and the PG era will continue long until after we are both dead. How can we make it better? How can you keep to the PG format but make it better? Now I'm not saying just for us, because I know it's supposed to appeal to everybody now. Hugs. But how do we make it better?
You need to stop pandering to kids. I mean, I know the kids are their main market now, and I get that.
Which is weird because I was watching it when I was 9.
Yeah.
So it wasn't targeted to me.
No, but you need to understand the people that go to the live events and the people that go to special shows, they're still die-hard wrestling fans like you and me. Spot a kid if you can at WrestleMania. You can't. You can't spot it. There's a 1 or 2.
In fairness, that's because they've been trampled by the 40-year-old virgins behind them.
Yeah, but you know, there's a serious point though. It's like they tailor most of the year to kids, and yet when it gets around to the business end, they want everyone to have a passion for it. They can't have a passion for it because they're not building towards a passion for it. And I don't know how you can make it better. It's like Stone Cold said, it's the best decision WWE ever made. Because they acted very, very quickly. Because they were losing viewers. Even though you had people like Shawn Michaels, Edge, Randy Orton, Triple H, all in their prime, still headlining these events and still having epic matches, people weren't watching it. Because people were changing.
Okay, but then what about things? You can argue like swearing and blood and weapons and all the rest of that sort of stuff. But what about the little things?
Such as?
Well, I watch a lot of YouTube and I listen to a lot of podcasts. So I had the benefit of having a wealth of media to sort of listen to in terms of like the people that work in the business.
Yeah.
Things like heel tactics aren't allowed anymore. What? Let's say, do you remember back in the day when the referee used to be an integral part of the match? Because chances are the referee would have some involvement being hit or moved or distracted or whatever. They're not allowed to do any of that anymore.
No, because it shows they're not respecting referees and stuff, and that gives us a message to the kids, which is what I'm saying. Stop pandering to the kids. Oh my god!
But it's the heel tactic, isn't it? That's missing from
but you don't have to just. Yeah, it didn't happen every match. It wasn't like every match the referee got taken out.
No, but on the same token,
it would happen now and ago.
Well, okay, but the thing I would say is that to be a heel these days, you have to act inherently like a dick. In the match, though, you behave, broadly speaking, the same as a babyface. Or am I just missing out on tactics that other people use?
Yeah, but people still all around people into the ring post, people still fucking into the step, people still hit the announce tables.
Yeah, but none of those are inherently heel. What I'm saying is that a heel cheats. A babyface might use any of those tactics.
No, it's true.
Maybe I'm just...
No, you're right. It relies heavily on promos.
Which is weird, because I'm the one that usually roots for the bad guy in wrestling, and you're Mr. Darkness when it comes to gaming and movies and stuff.
I don't go for the faces. Hell no.
Well, who's your favourite heel of all time?
It's the Blade. He was the best heel. He's the best heel of all time. How many factions has he been in?
Well, I still think you're overlooking Funaki. I think he was a great heel. Hey, the way he connected.
Just say I'm not justified with an answer.
The way he connected with that mat at the Royal Rumble was just unbelievable. Ridiculous. Was it high and tie or Kai and tie?
Kai and tie.
Kai and tie.
Taka Michinoku.
Fucking hell, the knowledge on this man. Very impressive. Alright, cool. Well, I do have another point here, which is the banning of moves and characters, but we'll brass over that for the moment. I guess what you're effectively saying is that it's something that they need to adjust to, but they'll refine over time.
Well, the banning of moves happened very, very recently. Because Seth Rollins can't do his...
curb stomp, yeah.
Can't do it anymore.
Which I think was fair enough.
Yeah.
Because it is very easily imitated. And I don't know about you, I will hold my hands up. When the WWE used to post those adverts on... Shit. My God! No, I'm just joking. Sorry, I thought I was going to throw a steel... It is a steel bin. And it's corrugated like a cage.
See.
What was I going to say? Back when we were kids and we were watching it and it said, please, don't try this at home.
Yeah, but in your mind that translates as, I must do this as soon as possible.
I must go out and I must find the nearest idiot who will let me try this move on him. Right, I'll tell you a little story. You already know this, but I'll tell it for the podcast viewers. Me and my brother had tag team belts when we were kids. The reason we knew the difference between mine had a chip in it from where I hit him in the head with it. That's why that thing was in the show. But they should probably do a better job of that because, like you just said, it made it all the more. Wow, that means I must go try it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I must. I actually broke my nose wrestling one time. Brother kneed me right in the face. That's why it looks like I've been hit in the face with a shovel. Because my nose goes off to the right. But anyway,
I bet before I made shoulder out his socket, I did the master lock on him and I sort of put it a bit too hard.
Well, that'll do it.
It was the wrenching part, really.
And that's why you leave it to trained professionals.
I am a trained professional.
Of course you are.
In history at university.
That makes you an expert wrestler.
Yes, it does.
Moving on to our next point, ladies and gentlemen. What is the next point? Brenny's dream match. Well, no one cares about that. So. Okay, cool. Right. So let me set the stage for you. Okay. Earlier on, I made you CEO of.
Before we go into this, I have to clarify.
Okay.
Are these people that are current, people that are retired, or both?
I'm saying you have access to a time machine, but you are also the CEO and general manager of Raw. Why you would have both of those things, I'm not too sure. But you are in a position, my friend, of being able to select two of any performer across any format. So I'm not just talking about WWE. You can pick any two performers.
I would like to attack this
and stick them in a match.
I would like to attack this in a different way.
Okay, go for it.
I would like to go dream match that I'd like to have now with the current roster.
Okay.
And then like a dream match from two people that are now retired, semi-retired, who never did have a rivalry.
Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds for the current roster.
Kevin Owens
versus
Seth Rollins.
Why?
I just think they're probably the two best wrestlers on the roster at the minute. If you take out AJ Styles.
And how do you build it up?
I'm not really sure.
And how do you?
It could just be. It could be a qualifying match for a tournament to a number one contender. You get heel versus heel sometimes. I just think those two will be able to work a really good match together.
And how does who comes out on top?
I literally wouldn't care. I mean, as you know, my favourite wrestler is Kevin Owens. To me, he's just, in terms of what you could want from a heel wrestler.
Okay.
He's got everything.
Okay.
He's got the moveset, he's got the charisma, he's got the attitude, he's got the mic skills. The other thing I think maybe Bray Wyatt against someone as well, but I don't know who I'd want him to face at this minute.
Okay, interesting.
No,
but here's the meat and bones of my question. You're picking two superstars. You don't have to worry about booking. You've got a time machine. You can do what you want. You can go back in time and threaten to make sure that they were never born. So they're going to listen to you. Who are you booking against each other?
The Rock.
The Rock? Okay, interesting choice. Okay. And who's he going up against?
Shawn Michaels.
Now, this is interesting because that's the one I said I'd have loved to have fucking seen, but what was it? It was The Rock wasn't ever keen. But Shawn Michaels said something about The Rock's
Well, was that
something like that.
It was that, but also Shawn Michaels retired in the 90s. And that was when The Rock was first coming on the scene. I don't really think they ever had a chance to interact.
Okay, so
and when Shawn Michaels came back, The Rock wasn't there, and then vice versa.
Okay, well, I kind of jumped ahead a little bit there. Why?
Can you just imagine the promos? Can you imagine the smack talk on the mic and the promos and the matches? Like, because Shawn Michaels would run the match because Rock is a reactive wrestler.
Yes, very much.
He can't dictate a match. I'm pretty sure even when he faced John Cena was dictating the match just because he'd had more experience at the time. He had Rock had been away for.
Absolutely,
You know, Michael's getting a good match out of him. We got a good match out of freaking Hulk Hogan for God's sake, and he can't have a good match for Toffee. Even his old days stuff. People don't even try to say Hulk Hogan's a good wrestler. He just isn't. Even when he was in his prime, he wasn't. Oh, I body slammed someone, did a leg drop. You're amazing. What a moveset you have.
More to the point, he's done his knees and back in doing just that.
Yeah, exactly. It's what makes it even more ridiculous. And a couple of punches and clotheslines as well. So you got to remember that as well.
Okay. All right.
I just think the one word you have with those two is two words: star power.
Oh, no doubt. And it depends on how you want to book it, but you could easily book them both face, them both heel, one heel, one face. You could do whatever you want because they're both very dynamic characters.
I think you do Marcus as the heel.
I'm in a transitional period because I like to boo The Rock right now, so I think in retrospect I probably agree with you.
But right 90s Shawn Michaels was a villain of pro.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And still politicking like a motherfucker, so very easy to... Okay, cool, but okay, here's a tough one. Who's coming out on top? Come on, this guy, you're booking your dream match, man. You can do it.
Shawn Michaels loves to sell people.
He does, and that's my worry about the match because you see how much The Rock reacts to fucking just punches, man. His stomach reaction is some of the worst ever.
I think The Rock would win.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
I'm not saying wrestling ability, Shawn Michaels is 10 times better than The Rock is, but I think they would make it so The Rock wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, I have one more wrestling match-related question.
Yep.
Because the other two questions that I have here are quite clear-cut and quite easy to... I suspect you've probably got an idea on these. This one, I haven't asked you, but I think it's probably on the minds of most wrestling fans at the moment, even if they don't know it straight off the bat, because it's not really been asked or addressed, and I feel it has to. And I'm going to preface the question, and you can probably jump in to tell me I'm wrong. The Undertaker's not been back since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Heard nothing from him. The angle that was worked for WrestleMania was pretty much worthless, considering Shane McMahon went on to run Raw anyway, and Undertaker's not been back since. So, the question remains, will he retire? Yes or no? That's kind of by the by. If he does retire this year, WrestleMania, as everyone kind of predicts he will most WrestleManias, who's the man to give him his last match? Who's the man to give him the send-off? Who's the man to give him, if he has to lose, okay, and logic dictates from his old school mentality that he must go out on his back, or WWE want to send him off in a way, so you've got to think of it in a way of a guy who you could book to win, but still give the Undertaker the respect he deserves, with a bit of a rub, or you look at it from the perspective of, okay, we want to give Undertaker's career the send-off it is like. This match needs to encapsulate the Undertaker's career. He needs to be given a send-off here. Who is the guy who could carry that?
So you're asking me who I would like to do it, or who I think they'll pick?
Who you'll like, and who that you think they will. Because I think I know who they'll pick, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I think we might come with the same answer here.
Okay, who do you think they would pick first then?
John Cena.
Okay.
Because he's never.
It makes me sad you agree with me.
He's never fought the Undertaker on a pay-per-view before.
That makes me sad because if you thought of it and I thought of it, it's probably going to be the case.
Who would I like it to happen with?
Yeah, so who in your mind could carry that weight of expectation?
I think the Undertaker's matches are best when he's facing someone smaller than him, but can still hit you with moves that I know that are devastating.
Okay, interesting.
The Shawn Michaels matches, for example.
Oh man! Fuck me! Why wasn't that on the top of my favourite matches ever? I don't know. WrestleManias with anyone with Undertaker or Shawn Michaels? Maybe? No, I think I'll pick something from 1999 when I was too young to understand what violence was. Idiot. Anyway, sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, that's the last time when you paid the card like that.
Oh man, I remember not seeing those. Do you know what I remember? I remember you telling me how good they were, and me going, fuck, I've not watched wrestling in years, it can't be any good. Watched it, I'm instantly back into wrestling, and I'm never going away ever again. So sorry, right, so who are you picking who you think? So I don't think Shawn Michaels.
What do you mean?
Because he's retired.
Oh right. No, we both think it's going to be John Cena.
We both think it's going to be John Cena because that's the money choice, because he is, whether you like it or not, he is still the biggest draw in wrestling, because people want to boo him as much as they want to cheer him. If you're 6 years old and have his pyjamas, you want to cheer him. If you're over the age of 6 and have a brain cell spare, you hate the guy.
I would like. This is going to shock you.
Go for it.
Because I just thought of how it could be built, and it's really funny. I think it could. I would like it to be. I don't have to think about it before. This is actually like when we're coming to straight off the bat.
Yeah, go for it, mate. What do you feel?
Undertaker versus AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Okay.
Because how's this for the promo?
Go.
The Phenom versus the Phenomenal one.
Okay. So you're thinking more on the lines of he goes out, but he gives the rub. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying Undertaker wins this one?
I think he.
Because this is where I'm torn. Do you see what I'm saying?
It depends if he's still with the club. Because then you can get Gallows and
How shit are they booking them right now? God damn, they're the most popular act in Japan.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
Okay, cool. Anyway, I'm veering off subject.
And it will get better because Finn Balor, who's in NXT, was also in the club. So they'll probably try and incorporate that at some point as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Anyway, sorry.
I just know from you didn't watch it. You didn't watch TNA, if any.
No,
I watched TNA quite a lot. It's early years. I went off it when Hogan got involved. I thought, you're turning to WCW, go away. I don't want my life. I've been down that road. It didn't work the first time. Wasn't going to work the second time.
Yeah.
But the guy can wrestle, man. The guy can go. And he can wrestle the big guys. He can wrestle the small guys. He can wrestle the same people size as him. And I just think it's going to be a similar situation with the Shawn Michaels one, where he has certain moves like the Pele kick and the phenomenal forearm that can be hit pretty much out of nowhere. And that's the sort of offense that, because Undertaker's probably going to dominate the match from a physical point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then he has the moveset to just.
But as the match points on, then it becomes a question of weight becomes against
and
it.
Then do the club get involved? I don't know.
I think you keep it clean for the match. I think you keep it clean because I think that whenever you add a degree of underhandedness, is that the word? I think it cheapens the result. And for Undertaker, you wouldn't want to cheapen it. Even if it's a loss, you wouldn't want to cheapen it.
No, unless they get the angle with he's getting, like, could be no disqualification, for example, and Anderson and Gallows are getting involved. Styles is the heel, we'll say, in this situation.
Because he could do.
But then. Kane.
Yeah. Do you know what that actually?
Kane gets out, clears the ring, but then Styles pins him. Right.
Okay. Well, I think you still give that a bit of space. Do you know what? Actually, I love the interference. That's great because you can see Kane taking on too. That's cool. But I still think you give a bit of distance between that. I think you have that as like not a spot in the match because it doesn't really count as a spot, but like you have it as a moment in the match where, oh no, there's going to be interference and Undertaker, Kane comes saves, and then it kind of rolls on from there, and that helps build the suspense of the match. You see what I'm saying?
The thing that you're talking about, the Undertaker retire. I mean, I thought the one person that was going to beat him and he would retire from would have been Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And I think if Shawn Michaels did the second time, I knew Shawn Michaels was going to lose.
It is kind of sad.
When you watch the first one, you're watching the first Shawn Michaels match against the WrestleMania, you literally think, you're watching and you're thinking, Shawn Michaels is going to win. He's going to win. He's going to win. And then it's literally so back and forth, you literally don't know what the hell is going on. You're like, it was like JR says, what did he say? I've just had an out-of-body experience, what he said when he's watching the match.
Well, I'd say one thing, it's so sad to me that Shawn Michaels was never more over than at the end of the match and then he had to retire. That sucks, man.
I don't.
Like, well...
I think everyone knew he was going to lose.
I think so, but by the same token, it's one of those things where everyone came away looking like pure gold, man. Just no losers in that match. Everyone walked away going, damn, that was entertaining as fuck. But anyway, okay, cool, alright. Interesting. I would have never picked that.
I wasn't expecting the question.
I was going to go star power, to be honest.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
But would you not say, well, in the wrestling world, AJ Styles is a huge star?
In that term, but I'm talking more about legacy.
You're talking from a WWE point of view.
I am, and that's why the person that I would pick, you could work it either way, considering that he still has a very strong affiliation with the company, even if I don't agree with the affiliation that he has with them. The Rock.
I can't see Undertaker drop him to the Rock.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think the Rock would mind losing. Not on this occasion. Yes, he still very much calls the shots. Whenever he comes back, it's not, okay, so what do we want to do with you? It's more, so what would you like us to do, sir? And he'll tell them, I want to work a heel and I want them to drop the title to me. And it's like, well, hang on a second, what if that doesn't make sense for the character? Anyway, question for another time. We'll probably talk about The Rock at some point, because he's got a checkered history as far as I'm concerned. He's not squeaky clean.
Yeah, but then you're saying about how would it work?
What, with The Rock?
Yeah, we didn't take it.
What's our last question?
No. You can't make a point. You put me on the spot, I'm putting you on the spot.
Alright. The way I would book that match. Right. I would simply have The Rock come out and... So, anyway, moving on to... Do you know what? Honestly, I'm rubbish at booking matches. Like I would have never thought of the interference.
You must have...
The reason why you think it would work. Well, the reason why I think it would work is because of Right, the way I look at matches these days is I predict the shit out of everything. I can't look at something and just allow it to entertain me. I have to go, so how's this going to work? And then if it works the way I thought it was, yay, I was right. If it doesn't, poo, I was wrong. So it's like, now I need to...
The Brock Lesnar Undertaker debate.
Oh, okay.
So, he's beaten Shawn Michaels, he's beaten Shawn Michaels, but he loses to Brock Lesnar, who's been in the company 5 minutes after the return. Okay,
but it did
so
make him look a little bit indestructible for a time. But anyway, right, I mean, to give you an example of why I would struggle to pick a reason to tell you why they should fight and how they would get there, but the reason why I would see the logic in them being in a match together for that purpose. And I'll give you the example. You know this to be a fact as well. Every time I go to the cinema, I can't just go to the cinema. I have to go on Wikipedia and read what happens so that I know what happens in the film. So that I can understand why the fuck they were doing whatever they were doing. So if it turns out to be shit, I can at least go, okay, well I can still sort of understand. The only one I didn't do that one was for Deadpool. Very pleasantly surprised by that.
Right.
Definitely go check it out right now. Available at your local Tesco. See, free plug. Subscribers!
So why do you get subscribers from Tesco?
Yes.
Why would Tesco listen to you?
I don't know.
Listen to their own staff, let alone people outside.
Well, Smithy works for Tesco. Maybe you can pass him a message.
That's a great argument, right there.
Well,
Yeah, Smithy works for Tesco.
he does.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but that's your case for your argument is because Smithy of all people works for Tesco.
Bless his heart. We'll hopefully be having him on soon, so you can argue with him some more. And I'll just sit there and laugh.
Mr. Negative. No, I love you really, Smithy.
Well, before... Oh, dude. Nothing but love for the guy.
Yeah.
Say what you like, he argues with me. We still talk, and we haven't seen each other for nearly 3 years.
I'm in longer than that. I haven't seen him since I left school.
Go to Tesco's, dude. Ask for a trolley.
Which one?
What do you mean, which trolley?
Which Tesco? What about which trolley? Oh, I pick this trolley while I buy steed.
Right, but the thing is, I make fun of Smithy.
Well, I didn't
I'm
fancy
still
it.
sat behind a fucking office desk 7 years later. Anyway, point being,
You don't know how you're going to book it, basically.
I don't know how you book it, but the reason I put them together is simple. From a biased perspective of not knowing what's going to happen in the match before it happens, I like there to be a degree of believability in either result. For the Undertaker matches, you got the sense during the middle of that, it was literally, how close are they going to come, not are they going to do it. That's why the Brock thing was so shocking, because I think we all thought, he's going to come close, but he's not going to do it, because the streak is going to be protected forever, and now, oh my god, he only fucking did it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And do you know what? This is how bad a misstep or a genius move it was. You can pick it one way or the other. Brock Lesnar attested to the fact that when he pinned Undertaker, he thought he'd lost his hearing because of how quiet it was in the arena. It literally went from buzzing atmosphere, 100,000 people, to pin drop.
Yeah.
Now, you can look at that both ways. You can look at that as, what the fuck are you doing? Or, it's genius. Because everyone paid attention. Everyone had an opinion on it. It transcended the event. The Rock, I feel, adds a degree of unpredictability because you can understand why he would win and you can understand why he would lose. He brings star power, he brings ability and experience, he could do a variety of different matches. There's just a few more possibilities, and it would take a cleverer man than I to book that match, but if you could, I think it'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, cool. Well, before we take on our next couple of questions, I had a slightly more personal one because I want to get less about the business, more about our interaction with wrestling, if I may.
Yes.
Why do you continue to watch it? Well, what keeps you coming back? I mean, I used to really dig the Power Rangers. I mean, it's not like I have their toys or merchandise still in my house. Leave it alone.
God, fuck it. I've got your giant sniper rifle thing.
I don't have any Power Rangers merchandise in my room. Anyway, why do you keep up with it then? What is it about wrestling that keeps you enticed?
I was out of touch with it from between 2006 and 2007, 2008, I should say. I don't really know, really. I suppose at the minute it's probably the best. It's in the best condition it's been for a while, because they've just suddenly gone mental and promoting all the new people. It's like every single match now has got a former NXT star from like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I really like the new talent that come through. They've really made an effort in making the guys that come through is a lot better. The women's division is so much better because they can actually all wrestle now. Whereas before there was like an old couple. There was like Trish and there was Lita and maybe Victoria, maybe. These are the people that can actually wrestle as the women's division.
Okay.
But now you've got Sasha Banks, you've got Becky Lynch, you've got Charlotte Flair, you've got Natalia, you've got Paige, who's my favourite. Dana Brooke looks like she's real deal as well.
Tell the nice people about Paige.
Well, she's pale and she's alternative and she's from Norwich.
I knew you'd say that. You always bring that up like, damn, if I'd have only driven there at one point.
Well, she is pretty hot. You can't.
She'd have married me and given up that whole wrestling business and been
You're
throwing
telling
me
me-
around the bedroom.
You
instead.
telling me you wouldn't dig a chick with fishnets in the wrestling room?
Any chick that can throw me over her shoulder, suplexing me into the bed before somersaulting on top of me, has to have my number and needs it right now.
Speaking of the Page tap out
Sweet.
or the Rampage.
It really depends on where that's aimed.
We'll leave that one there.
Cool. Right, so
You're going to ask me which wrestler who deserves a bigger push.
you're psychic.
Um,
No, what I was going to ask was more along the lines of, do you have any wrestlers who you've seen who you thought, wow, the push they're getting, if they keep on going, it's going to be great, and then all of a sudden they were nothing, and you wonder why?
Drew McIntyre.
Ah, okay, interesting one. Former IC champion.
He was literally. He even had the ring of what Vince McMahon chose. He had the dub, the chosen one.
What?
Vince McMahon choosing the chosen one
Why?
because I don't know. Do I look like a WWE writer?
Well, okay, right. I will say one thing that might lend some credence to that. JR once said that he didn't think much of Drew McIntyre at all. Then what happened was Drew McIntyre was working on a new character and was working at home videotaping himself. He sent in a tape to JR of a character that he was developing, and he went, "We need to put the company on this guy." It was that good, but they never ran with it because it wasn't their idea. It's the same reason why they don't let anyone come in with their own names, because they go, well, no, we need to come up with a name so that we can brand you and make money off your sorry ass. Which is kind of sad because, like, put it this way, I don't know if I'd like Seth Rollins less if he was still called Tyler Black. And the curb stomp was still called the Blackout. Which I think is kind of cool. Roman Reigns, you know, fair enough. Whatever, you know. We've touched on him in a previous episode. I don't think we need to
I
touch
don't
on him
know
anymore.
Roman anymore.
Well, he's pretty.
In what regard?
Dude, he's the guy. Do you know what? You might not like this. I was listening to the Stone Cold podcast recently. Do you know who he drew comparisons with Roman Reigns? In terms of crowd reaction, before you jump on me. Shawn Michaels. Do you know why? Do you know why though? Do you know what? Could you take a guess? Not in ring skill, but when he comes out, what happens in the audience that might draw the two comparatively?
Yeah.
Indeed, but why a mixed reaction specifically? And I'll give you a hint. If you have genitals of a male persuasion, you might be persuaded to boo him. If you lack them, you might be persuaded to get on your feet and scream like you've just been castrated. Chicks dig him,
Not
dudes
buying-
don't.
not buying that.
But chicks fancy the fuck out of him, even if they're there with their partners,
Not buying
and that pisses off the guys.
Not buying that.
That's not me. That's coming from ringside, baby.
I ain't buying it.
You don't think so?
I'm not a Stone Cold, must respect the guy. Not
You
buying
don't. You
that.
don't see
Not
Roman
buying
Reigns posing for Playboy anytime soon. Playgirl. Sorry.
I wish he was on the fucking mid card. Doesn't even deserve to be anywhere near the title picture.
All right.
Okay, I don't
Okay.
know
Cool.
the friggin' belt.
So, okay, Drew McIntyre. Okay, fair enough. Who? Okay, slightly different question. Who's on the card right now? Who you think deserves more of a push than they're getting, but potentially won't get it?
potentially won't get it.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, Kevin Owens. You've mentioned.
He's destined for greatness.
Huh?
He's destined for greatness.
Well, exactly. So who do you think is okay? Cool. I like where they're going, but you don't think will get pushed?
Well, here's the thing: the Miz got the push, but they didn't follow through with it.
The IC thing after WrestleMania was weird as hell, man.
No, I mean, like he had the WWE title. You know, he faced on at WrestleMania. And that's how the whole Rock thing started.
Yeah,
but the Rock. But like he got the push, and then he dropped the title, and then that was the Miz. See you later.
He's been back since the IC got.
Yeah, no, but you're talking about when you talk about push, you talk about. The
Oh,
main.
okay, to the top. Okay, to the top. Okay, fair enough. All right.
But in terms of who I think now, I think
Okay, so
wrestling ability Cesaro, but he won't never be the main guy.
I would be inclined to agree with you.
I think as a wrestler, he's probably one of the best on the roster.
He tries very hard, doesn't
He
he?
doesn't try very hard. He's very, very good.
No, I mean, like the HD thing doesn't help, but when he's charging off the ropes and he has his little near slips and stuff, it's very, very prevalent. It doesn't take anything away, but I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, then last and perhaps most important question: just how good looking am I? I'm joking. Don't answer that, asshole. You're supposed to say very, just off the bat, without hesitation. We rehearsed this.
We didn't.
We did.
We didn't.
In pajamas.
On the wearing pajamas.
Worst angle ever. The angle you even before they'd finished speaking, you went, for fuck's sake. Worst ever.
Well, what angle was a do you mean gimmick?
No, I mean angle. I mean, they're really going with this.
What I mean was in the storyline.
Story, yeah. I've heard some really shit ones in my time, buddy boy.
The main 19 thing came.
Which one was that?
Every time he heard the phrase May 19th.
Oh, yeah.
And then Fake Kane would come out and it's like, I don't understand. Who was Festus, by the way? Everyone knows who Festus was.
Wasn't that Luke Gallows?
No.
I thought Festus was Luke Gallows.
No. Festus was 7 foot tall with Billy Youngster.
Excuse me, people of YouTube, I'm going to do that.
Other than that, Shawn Michaels' Hulk Hogan was disaster.
Oh yes, but that's because Shawn Michaels made bloody good, bloody well sure that that match was shit. He was one of the few. Well, do you know what? That's got to be a measure of a wrestler who can go out there and go, "I'm going to have a terrible match," and there's fuck all anyone can do about it.
Yeah, see, he first came into it in the Straight Edge Society with CM Punk.
I swore
it's not
he was
Festus, mate.
Festus.
Festus is massive. Festus is like 7 foot tall. He's like 7 foot 2.
Teaming
yes.
Jesse and oh my days, was I right about a wrestling related question?
Do you know what? I'll hold my hand up.
Jesus Christ. I must somehow still be wrong. Anyway, cool, alright.
Did you see the guy he has there? It's Festus.
He's really
He's so out of shape as Festus.
He's really in shape now, there's no doubt about that. 6'7". He's 7 foot tall according to WWE. That is embellishment at its finest.
Well,
anyway.
I'm embarrassed.
Alright, so the ones that spring to my mind are ones that involve the gimmicks. The really bad gimmicks. Let me try and cast my mind back. Like the whole, the Katie Vick shit.
Yeah.
That fucking stuff. Why did they need to do that? Again, on a not unrelated topic, the whole Kane marrying Lita bullshit.
Yeah, again, that's the Kane's getting involved was a pretty good inherent storyline.
It's like
The three we just mentioned there all had Kane in it.
There's a
The main
common
team became
There's a common denominator, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
Oh no, the love thing with Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and Kane with AJ.
What?
That was really bad. Kane was in the mask as well. It's like, come on, like for real. Kane's like been in some of the best angles ever. Yet he's also been in some of the worst.
He's so pretty in the mask, though. I would.
Flowing locks.
I would. He's just, it's the eyes.
Yeah,
the sullen, soulless eyes that do it for me. Okay.
Yeah, the sex will be on fire. Yeah, I just said that.
And we're pausing for laughter. Everyone's laughing as they're listening to this.
Everyone's laughing at me.
Weird. You know that as well as I do. Right. Okay. So there's not one that really springs to mind as being wow that.
Should we just give it to Kane?
Or just Kane?
Award Kane.
It doesn't involve Kane coming in, destroying everybody and leaving. Sucked. Is that
No,
what
I'm saying he gets the award for being involved with the worst angle ideas
ever. Okay, yeah, I'll go along with
Yeah.
that. Okay, sweet, that's sweet. Okay, that's pretty much everything we planned to cover.
Yeah.
I guess I only have one other question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
What's your first wrestling memory?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
When was he wrestling? It's the cross slam! Oh my god!
Do you know, I generally... No, I can't answer.
You really can't remember?
No.
Mine are SmackDowns on Saturday mornings, mate. So
I thought you meant a Pacific memory. Sorry, but...
Well,
it would be the SmackDown on Saturday morning.
Well, the first... I know it probably isn't the first time I ever watched it, but my first memory is of The Rock cutting promos on the Ramp on SmackDown. It was probably on... In fact, I could probably find it. It was against Triple H and DX. They were formed by that point. As a foursome rather than him and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
So, someone would have to go back and find out when The Rock was wearing a particularly beige shirt against a Triple H that was wearing a leather jacket. Someone wants to Google that and then message me what SmackDown that was, then fair enough. But anyway, okay, cool, alright. I want to try and get into your mind. Give some people at home some context.
No, it's good. I mean, you've just humiliated me with the Festus thing, but yeah, that's absolutely
That's
fine.
not humiliating, considering that I can't even name WrestleMania's years. I was like, that WrestleMania you mentioned was like, okay, well mine's different. Mine was in a different year entirely. No, that was the same year. Well, what about the Royal Rumble that I like? No, that was the same year too.
You really
It's like you only watch wrestling 1 year and now you think you have an opinion.
Yeah, you really like 2001.
It was awesome.
It was a good year though.
It was awesome. So good. I was 11. Everything was possible when I was 11. I still had abs. I hadn't dyed my hair blonde yet. No. I might do that again.
I'll never go on this podcast ever again.
Cool.
Because I'll be too blinded to say any words.
Oh, on that note. Okay, cool. Well, I think we've covered everything we wanted to cover. We've gone a decent amount of time. Well, dude, thanks a lot for coming back.
It's alright. It's good. Do it again.
We'll try and hook up every couple of weeks. And I'll tell you what, if anyone wants to comment on what they'd like us to cover in terms of wrestling, this guy will research the fuck out of it. I'll disagree with him. It'll be this whole
thing.
thing.
Know about it.
Exactly, and I'll just disagree with him. He'll hit me in the head with a chair, but there'll be interference and I'll come back to win.
No
It'll be
headshots
one of those things.
PG, no headshots.
We're not PG here. We're in Wollaston. We don't fuck around here in Wollaston.
Or Big Bad Williston.
Yes. We have chairs. They're made of wood.
Yeah, I'm sitting on one.
We sit on them.
Yeah.
We don't mess around. Right? Chair shots to the ass. Anyways, right. Sign off, motherfucker.
It's been Mickey B.
Mickey B has been here! I've been Lorne. I've tried to be a co-host. I've been more like sub-co-host. I don't think I've dictated the flow very well. You're not very easy to control.
Many people have said that.
Many women have said that. People, really. Next subject.
That's
on this podcast. Dude, it's been an absolute fucking joy as always, bantering with you. It's just nice to get it on recording every now and then. Dude,
Yes.
Let's do this again. I've been Lorne, your host. This has been my co-host, Brendan. Let them know. See you again on the Halcyon podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And that was this week's podcast. We both really hope you enjoyed it. Sorry we went off on a few tangents there. It's just the way we do things. The next one should be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully it's got, like I say, it's going to be a bi-weekly thing. We hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe and also comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We're both super nerds. We'll research the hell out of anything that you want us to do. So thanks once again for listening and be sure to tune in next time. Take care.